the show. It promises to be exciting as always. Feel good to be back. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Of course, I don't do this alone. My partner, Austin Okon-Akpan, is always around, and we take this trip together. And of course, as soon as he's ready, we go on that trip together. It was a very good week for Nigerian club sides on the continent, and that's what we're going to be talking about on the show. All right, let's see if Austin is ready. He's ready. Greetings to you, Austin. I said it was a good week for Nigeria over the weekend, and I'm very happy to talk about everything that happened.
Everyone joining us on the show tonight. It promises to be exciting. Yemi Adebayo, give me my flowers. You know, when I talk to you guys about optimism, particularly with our football clubs, I know what I'm talking about. Yes, I knew it was going to be difficult, but shout out to Plateau United, Rivers United, and of course, Kwara United for staying united and ensuring that none of those North African teams pick up victories right there in the CAF Champions League and the CAF Confederation Cup. I'm super duper proud of Kwara United and how they came back against a strong RS Berkane team. You know, it tells you that if we give more attention to those clubs, they will actually get better. I mean, big night also in the UEFA Champions League. I'm sure you're ready to go at everything that we'll be talking about tonight.
Yes, of course, it wasn't a good start for Nigeria's Flamingos today. That's at the FIFA U-17 Women's World Cup. We'll talk about that as we move on the show. We'll start our countdown to the FIFA World Cup. We've been talking about the FIFA World Cup, but we'll start proper. We'll take a look at one of the groups and what could happen. And I know when we get to that point, we'll remember we're not at the World Cup, but it's too late. There's nothing that can be done about that. Austin, before we bring in our guests, let's talk a little bit of basketball. That's how we want to start the show tonight. Let's talk about the Giants of Africa. Of course, their efforts in basketball, they've revealed that they're committed to the development of basketball in Nigeria through the provision of facilities for school. Also, I want us to pause a little and take a listen to some of the things that they've been doing. We'll come back to analyze it. By then, we'll bring our guests into it as well. We always talk about the grassroots. We always talk about developing sports. And this is one group, one body that has been putting their money where their mouth is. So we'll talk about it. So let's just quickly take a listen to what's been happening with the guys, Giants of Africa, as they continue their giant strides in basketball development in the country.
There are a couple of Giants of Africa alums in the NBA currently as we're speaking. And I can name two. Precious Achua is an alum of Giants of Africa, and Udoka, that plays for the Utah Jazz, is an alum of Giants of Africa. So in regards to what Giants of Africa has done with regards to having players in the NBA, that's a proof right there for you. And what we've been doing for the past 19 to 20 years has definitely improved the development of basketball in the continent of Africa, most especially in Nigeria. Kids are beginning to play the game young now. When I grew up, I didn't play basketball until I was 13 years old. And currently, kids are beginning to pick up the game 5, 6 years old, 7 years old. You know, that's a good indication of what is to come. Masai Ujiri, the president of the Toronto Raptors, a very good friend of mine. We're best friends. You know, we cooked up this idea of running basketball camps 19 years ago, when we were really, when we had just graduated from college in the States. Basketball gave us the opportunity to do what we're doing today. I personally, basketball saved my life. I tell people my story all the time. I grew up in a very poor neighborhood in Warri. When I discovered basketball, I fell in love with it. And I'm here today talking to you guys.
Building our community is one of the true fundamental development. Because if we have facilities like this in our community, in our domain, right in front of us, our kids are going to develop very fast. And that's why we are happy. I mean, we that are Nigerian coaches here are excited and we'll give our lives for this.
just to ensure that the facilities are present and the kids get the opportunity to participate, compete in the sports they love. And of course, one of the guys, the brains behind the project, has already told you how basketball changed his life. That's the story of sports. That's the power of sports. Before I go back to Austin, let me quickly introduce our partner in the Lagos studio tonight. Kehinde Idris joins us. Greetings to you, Kehinde. Thanks for finding out time to be with us on the show tonight.
Good to be here, Yemi. And it's also good to have you back. It's been it's been a road of Cecilia, Salami, Tayo, and you know, always there talking about Austin. But you're back, and it feels good. And when you and Austin were bantering, the talks on the Flamingos, also what happened over the weekend, our teams. I think if I can remember vividly, have we had any weekend that they all had good results? I don't care if they are playing at home or away, but all three playing at home and getting favorable results. I think it's a massive weekend, and we looked up to today to continue the week in a good step. But for the Flamingos, it's not as good. So.
All right, that's a quick summation of what we're going to be talking about. But before we go to Austin, you listened, you saw those clips that we showed, and on this show, on everything we do on channels, TV, we always try to highlight people that are contributing to the development of the society, in this case using sports. Yeah. And now you look at what you have on your screen. Kids who probably might not have gotten the chance to play the hoops, move around with the ball and all. Giants of Africa giving them an opportunity, and they're looking towards having 100 courts across Africa. This is in Igondo. They're looking at going to Abeson Nest.
Yeah. And the beauty for me in this and what Giants of Africa is doing is the fact that you hear places like Egon. You just mentioned, we're going to another place that is not so synonymous. Probably you hear Ilupeju, Lekki, Ikeja. It would have been like, okay, we know the people who will benefit from that. But these are kids who hardly can tell you they can bounce the ball because they don't even have good access they don't have access to a good court. So they don't even have an idea of the game. So now you're bringing
access, no coach,
no
competition.
And the ball itself, basketball, is so expensive. So now you're giving them that opportunity to have all of that. I think we've on and on, over and over again, establish it on this show that there is always some crop of kids. There is always some crop of athletes who will key into any sport you bring into the society of Nigeria. And look at the numbers you find there. Trust me, all of these kids were doing one sport or the other. Is either it's athletics or, jumping and all of that. Now they are exposed to basketball. And at the end of the day, yes, everybody won't go that route. But you'll find numbers who will now say, this is my sport. And that is what Giants of Africa, basketball development is doing. And talking about 100 courts, I think that is beautiful. No matter the numbers we get here, just spread it. And after this 100, I'm sure they will look to make it 1,000. And then probably someday we'll be talking 10,000. So always happy to have development talks because I know that kid that is not so privileged will gain or get to benefit from it at the end of the day.
All right, so let's just bring Austin into everything right about now. Austin, I mean, not everybody's going to play professional sports, but participating in this, but there's a kind of discipline that he instills in you. And most people will tell you that once you have that discipline, even if you don't become a professional sportsman, it puts you on the road to success in life in whatever you attempt to do.
I totally agree with you. I mean, most times people just think that the end product whenever you get involved in sports is to go professional and win. No, right there, those kids are already winning. They're learning team bonding, they're learning team spirit, they're learning teamwork. Like you mentioned, discipline, they're learning dedication, they're learning what it means to start early. There's also in it fitness, and it doesn't get so good than what Giants of Africa they're doing, going to those remote areas where we don't always talk about, and not just getting the kids there to get involved with basketball, providing the basic infrastructure. That's so important because the guys right there in the rural zone where they went to would never have thought that they would have basketball courts. And this is not the first time we're seeing Masa Ujiri, Godwin, and the Giants of Africa team trying to do their bit in Africa. You listen to Godwin telling you about some of the players that they already have in the NBA. That's how to start. You give these kids an opportunity to dream. Sometimes I remember when Michael Jordan said all he needed to see was a sneakers, and then he starts dreaming of being big, and this child wakes up and sees that as a basketball coach in his community, he can always, thrive to gain something. So I totally agree with you. He might not make it to the NBA, but he's going to learn life skills that will be useful to him and his community.
All right, let me pass the baton to you. And, of course, Idris will join us in the conversation. We're going to India. Not the way we wanted to start tonight. The girls got my hopes up. Scored first. I was thinking, okay, yeah, it could happen. Especially if you consider our history with Germany, not so good at the under-20, especially at the under-20. They've beaten us on 2 occasions where we could have gone on to win, and they've beaten us a couple of times. So we knew what we were up against, and when we scored, I thought, yeah, we had a chance. But the experience shined through for the Germans, and eventually they won the game.
Let me disagree with the experience for the Germans. I just think that they've got a better tactical, formation and all of that going for them. Because at this level, I mean, if you tell me to mention some of those German players and their football experience or pedigree, I don't know any, because they're on the 17 level, but let's give some shout out to the Flamingos. As early as the 18th minute, Opeyomi Ajakaye, she's a top scorer from the qualifiers, already struck the woodwork. She's just unfortunate not to score. And the Flamingos did take the lead first, but in second half, the Germans found a way to turn it around. That's what we're talking about, that at that grassroots level, there's a lot of learning going on. I'm not faulting what Coach Bankole and his team did, but most likely interpretation very, very important. Maybe the girls aren't, getting it right yet. It's the first match against Germany. They'll pick it up on Friday against New Zealand. So maybe then they'll perfect formation. They'll get to know themselves better. But I can't say that the Germans bossed them or played better. Yeah, maybe because they also went the way of history. We always struggle against Germany. It's Germany again. Maybe they need to believe some more. Maybe they need to go out there and tell themselves that, look, this is just the under-17 level. Let's just express ourselves. I think if they've got the mentality, and that's why we always say the role of a psychologist in a team, particularly at the age grade level, is very, very important. Someone will tell them, look, you're just getting on this journey to become top professionals in football. Just go out there, have some fun, believe in yourself. Impossible is nothing. These Germans you see today, you might not see them anymore. Just go there and play good football, So maybe those sort of conversations we spark up something that will make these ladies, put up a better performance whenever they meet a team such as the Germans. But I think they did so well. I think they showed some quality. I think they can build upon this, results and, get us a better result against New Zealand. So kudos to Coach Bankole and the Flamingos for starting on a good note at the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup.
All right, let me bring Idris into this, and let me see if he agrees with me on what I said by experience. And to really put it in context, I meant game management, because of course they are all age grade teams, so they've not really done much. But in terms of game management, they seem to probably have handled things like that before, more exposed to things like that. And that's the context with which I meant experience. But let me see if Kehinde Idris agrees with me. It looked like the Germans on that stage, like they've been there before.
Yep.
Like they knew what to do.
Yeah.
I agreed with Austin to the extent that you really can't fault the coach. We had our chances too. But it all boils down to how the game was managed, not by the guys on the bench, but by the players on the pitch.
Yes, the gladiators on the pitch, so many at times, they said when the blast of whistle goes, that everything the coach had told you flies out. What is left is those things that are sunk in, into you, and then you start to express that. So many times you find the coach screaming and shouting. These players cannot even hear so many of it. What are the kind of players they have on the pitch? Now, you see, one of the things we always don't realize, these German girls you're seeing are attached to teams like Bayern Munich, teams like Dortmund, teams like Leipzig. Some of them are playing for the senior team of those clubs. That is, at the age of 15, they've already gotten exposure. We're talking playing at the continental level, playing in the league level, at the other highest level. That tells you they would have faced adversities like that. They are fearless. They understand going down, probably by a goal or two, and then rising up. Just be consistent with what you're doing. Manage your opponent, and then for every 10 minutes in the game, read your opponents more. Okay, this is their strength. This is how they wear out. This is how they continue. Probably after 20 minutes, they start to slow down. Now they are passing the ball more. Okay, how do we tackle this and all that? This is what these girls have seen. And look at our girls representing us. What are the kind of exposure? Probably some of them were talking academies or secondary school and all of that. We get girls from there, and then we bring them to play those ones. I said it to some colleagues, earlier today. I said nothing will be the problem, other than the fact that, number one, you don't know your opponent at this level. Nobody can really pinpoint names.
Yes.
Then number two, the exposure these players have had. And that was what happened. Half-time, 1-0, Nigeria leading. Like you, I felt we had hope. I to an extent, believe so much in this team. So with 1-0 lead, I thought, okay, probably this will be the time. But the Germans, like you said, you capped it right. They wore us out, psychologically. And then when they
We're not really doing much.
Yes.
That was what I meant by game management.
That is just putting your opponent where you want them to be, at the time you want them to be, and then you get the goals. And the goals are the order of the day. 2-1 was
I
good
am not
enough.
disappointed with the performance in any way.
At all.
So that those who are listening to us will understand it's not the result.
Yeah.
But what will stop us from getting to this stage and having this kind of results are some of the things that you have said.
Yep.
We'll need to do more.
We need to.
And as individuals and as a collective, you just look at the Germans, it appeared like just like you said, they've seen this before.
Exactly.
They've walked this road before. And that was the only difference.
That was the only difference.
Lady for lady.
Okay.
I don't think they were better. So let's just quickly take a look at the results. We've talked about that. Forgive us for not even doing that straight away. The Germans defeated Nigeria 2-1. And of course, in a game played earlier, you had a result that we're hoping will not count against us later on. Chile defeated New Zealand 3-1. So that's it. Let's probably look at it again. Matches in Group A and in Group B. I've talked about Group B already, and this is what you have on Group A. India losing by goals to the United States. Morocco losing. Africa's other representative, Morocco, losing 1-0 to Brazil. Let me go straight away to Austin, who's, of course, monitored the games, saw everything. And a colleague of ours chatting with me said it's over already because he saw the Chileans and already. Is the picture that green? In your opinion, do you feel the chance is still always available?
Yeah, of course. In football, you never say never. Even when you probably lose one and draw one, you're still hoping if you win the last one, you'll get. So tell that colleague, I'm sure he will tell me right after the show, so I'll tell him to put up his colors of optimism and patriotism, as support the Flamingos. It just puts a little bit of pressure on Coach Bankole's team because of the result Chile got. So if New Zealand are the whooping girls in the group, go out on Friday, beat New Zealand properly, and if we want to start doing the permutations already, I'm sure people will conclude that Germany will beat Chile, and they will now wait, to meet Chile in the final game and see who really wants to advance in the competition. It's a competition. Yes, it's under 17, but it's a proper competition. It's the FIFA Women's World Cup. And this is the level where we start seeing those qualities and project into the future. Asisa Toshoala passed through the stage. For the men, Victor Osimhen passed through the stage. Kelechi Iheanacho. So to an extent, it's a big stage. I totally agree with everything you talked about. And Kende Idris also buttressed the fact that these guys understand so much about football, even at that level. And it's a testament to the level of attention they give to football development at the grassroots in Europe. Because as early as age 4, in the Enfield Council where I stay, early as age 3, you see kids coming out to play football. I'm not talking boys, girls. it's that awareness that we always preach, you know, and that's why when we say give attention to the grassroots, people think we're saying just organize competition for 1 week and get young people and put it on TV and say you've done something. No, it's long-term planning. It's delicate. It's one that shouldn't stop. So, I mean, let's leave the conversation for now. I'm sure they understand the importance of, you know, going out on Friday to win sports tonight on Channels Television. Let's go on a quick break now. When we come back, I'm sure there's still so much to talk about, particularly what's going on in the UEFA Champions League. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Sports Tonight on Channels Television. Just gone by a review of what went down at the FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup Group A. Germany defeated Nigeria by 2-1, while Chile defeated New Zealand to, you know, keep that Group A a little bit gloomy for Team Nigeria. But we'll see what they will do on Friday to get back to it. Let's leave the future star stage and get into big boy stage, the FIFA World Cup proper. 40 more days to go, 40 days to go. And I want to, with everything in me, try not to talk about Nigeria not being at this one. I know it's difficult, but there it is. 40 more days to go. And Kende, at 40 more days to go, I think the World Cup is already here.
The World Cup is already here. The FIFA is moving around. Everybody's talking about it one way or the other. I heard some people coming from the angle of entertainment, the way entertainment will be in Qatar during that period. I heard some legal people discussing it, talking about some rules, laws that have been put on ground, and they are trying to enlighten whoever from Nigeria will be going out there. That is telling you different angles, and some business people discussing the global world will do this, will do that because of the World Cup in Qatar, so the entire world will have their eyes. This is what the World Cup brings. It's a world festival. Whether it's happening in your continent or not, there is a way it grips everybody. It's not just the sportmen, you know, involved, whether as an administrator, a fan or player. Everybody is involved in the World Cup. Is that big? And, you know, like there is tagged the first World Cup in the desert. Everybody wants to see what it looks like. Then there will be stadium that has artificial input when it comes to the way the atmosphere will feel and all that. So the World Cup is already here. We're just waiting to see players on the pitch and kick ball around. Aside that, the World Cup has started. The World Cup is already here. And like you said, Austin, every ounce in me is holding me down also to not talk about the Nigerian angle. Especially, 2 days ago, I was going through my phone and I was looking at the new NFF president, and I'm imagining Nigeria being at the World Cup, and, you know, this would be like his very first official assignment, stepping into the globe to stand as a representative, number one man when it comes to our sport. But that won't happen. We would enjoy those that are already there or that will be there, and all other things that comes with it. But the rules and regulations by the Qatari government, please, please, everybody shall abide by that.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think we should move on now. We've got some focus to do as regards teams at the World Cups. You know, it's hard to see that Argentina will play a group stage at the World Cup and it will not be against Nigeria.
Oh, yeah. Guys, let me talk about the outbreak a little. I know you wanted to move on. I guess because we've been here before. I was young then, 2005, when we didn't qualify for the 2006 World Cup. It felt the same way. So maybe he has numbed the pain somehow, but the pain is still there. But talking about what you said, let's focus on a group that has Argentina with Nigeria not being there, which is becoming unusual these days. So we're going to talk about one of the groups that has Argentina, and that's it. It's 40 days to go. Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland, all in the same group. And that's what we want to look at. And it's Group C that we're looking at. Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. I'm looking forward to seeing Robert Lewandowski wear Ukraine's armband. It's going to be very significant. Lewandowski has been voicing his support for Ukraine, and he's been talking about what has been happening in Ukraine with regards to the Russia-Ukraine crisis. Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. It's our focus. The only team that has won the World Cup in this group, it's Argentina. Talk about hosting Mexico has hosted the World Cup before the others haven't hosted. So if you're looking at the two teams that you could say have World Cup pedigree, the two teams, one from North and the other from South America. Talk about Argentina and Mexico. And that probably would be my pick. I don't know if, I'll go back to us, but I don't know if that's your pick as well. You just look at Argentina, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, and Poland. Something makes me feel that the Mexicans, their season campaigners, maybe they will follow Argentina.
I think I have that feeling too. It looks like Argentina, looks like the sure number one.
Heads and shoulders above. Yeah.
I would have said Poland. But I've watched Poland over and over again, especially, in the last 1 year. It's not like it's so special a team, but they just glide through. And this Mexican side sometimes shows that they should have better been a South American team than a North American team.
They have the flair, they have everything.
They are the only problem that the South Americans have when it comes to North America, Mexicans. And if you even listen to them, they look more like being on this side and on this side. So they look like that team that will be second. But I have my eyes on Saudi Arabia. This is me talking about the third place. Saudi Arabia has been super consistent at the World Cup. It's hard to find a World Cup. Since I've been watching World Cup, I'm not finding Saudi Arabia. Yes, I know they miss some, but they are always super regular. And whenever they come, aside in 94s, 98, they've always given, decent account of themselves. And for Argentina, they will go back to playing Iran some World Cups ago after Iran. Nigeria was also in that mix. So maybe that will help them against Saudi Arabia. But Argentina, Mexico, now for the third place. For me, I think I would look to Saudi Arabia before Poland.
Oh, okay. All right. Let me go to Allstate quickly. It's too early to start doing permutations, but it makes the show more interesting. And usually I don't stick out my leg, but I just did on the show. So I'm going with Argentina and Mexico. If you wanted to do that, which are the two teams you think will be your first pick to get out of that group?
And because I love upsets, definitely I'll take Argentina. It's Argentina, it's the World Cup, but I will not follow you and Kende to write off Poland. Because it's just Poland, and everybody just talks about Poland and just talk about Robert Lewandowski alone. But no, they've got a very compact team. They've got a team that wants to, do beyond Robert Lewandowski. Don't forget we have Wojciech Szczesny in that team. There's Lucas Fabianski and a whole lot of decent defenders here and there in Europe. So just the sort of team that on a good day, if they choose to play their football, they can upset any team. So I'm just wondering that what has Poland done to the point that Kende is even looking at Saudi Arabia for third? I'm sure when they watch this show, they will say no way just to come for Kende Idris. They might just try to, make me happy, create some upsets, and probably finish second in the group. But yes, Mexico also a traditional World Cup team. Because of the region, they are always there. And the World Cup is the more you play in it, you gather more experience. And I totally agree what you said about their flair, their style. It suits South American football, so it's very difficult to go past Mexico in that sort of, group. But this is football, guys, where anything can happen. And we've seen it over and over again. And we have our jaws dropped and we're saying, wow, what just happened? That's just what we might be seeing at this World Cup. And because this is a very unusual World Cup, I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again, that this World Cup will really get us talking. We will see a lot of upsets because it's happening when it shouldn't happen. FIFA is trying to bring a new innovation into this thing. Qatar is even giving us some stuff that we've not seen in normal football hosting. So you might just get abnormal results. Let's brace up, guys.
All right, we're bracing up.
Totally agree.
Right. All right, let's leave the pitch and talk about the South attractions. That's what we want to quickly do. So we'll spend the remaining time we have to talk about Nigerian clubs on the continent. Let's go to Qatar. Talking about Qatar, a 6-month exhibition in Doha has opened its doors to football fans and enthusiasts, giving them a journey through the history of football and World Cup tournaments. You're going to see the pictures very soon. It has been dubbed the world of football exhibition, and of course it showcases a wide range of unique items like shirts worn by legendary footballers, including Diego Armando Maradona, Pelé, and as well as the football used on the group stages in the first World Cup held in Uruguay. That's in 1930. And so the museum guide has been given tours and all that, all of this. The other day we were talking about flag center where the flags of all the teams participating, you know, at the World Cup. I mean, a lot of things currently going on, and this is open to the fans just to give that feeling of being close to the World Cup. Let's take a quick reaction. We'll come back, talk some more, and of course, dive straight into CAF Club competitions.
So one of the most important artifacts that we have in this exhibition is the 1930s Uruguay, which they first hosted the first ever FIFA in the world. And over here, we got a football for 2022 FIFA World Cup, where we're going to host it here in Qatar. So as you can see, the past and the future comes together. So one of the most important objects that we got in this exhibition is these t-shirts. So these t-shirts, we have 20 t-shirts, authentic t-shirts, that is worn by different athletes, which is women and men. So one of the most important t-shirts that we got here is Maradona 1986 in Mexico, when FIFA was hosted by Mexico. So this section is really fun for the FIFA fans. They're going to really enjoy this this exhibition, and especially these objects from different athletes who wore these t-shirts. And also we have women athletes from Brazil and Holland. And also we have from Cristiano Ronaldo. And over here we have the legendary Pelé. So he was actually known to be the youngest ever athlete to compete in the FIFA, and this is a t-shirt from 1971. Actually, for fans, it's gonna be, I think they're gonna love it, especially for FIFA fans. Once they come and visit the museum or the exhibition, they will be surprised with the objects that we got and the information that we have.
Oh, that's it. Fans know what to expect now. Talking about the exhibition, you go to the museum, you see a lot of things, you know, things that you could treasure, things that you probably wouldn't get access to. And those are the moments around the World Cup that will leave to remember. Of course, I wouldn't mind getting my hands on that shirt Pelé wore, or probably one of the shirts worn by the legend himself, Diego Armando Maradona. And all of those things have been preserved for moments like this. All right, guys, our time is fast spent, and we need to quickly move on the show. Let's talk about Nigerian clubs on the continent. And hopefully before we end the show, we'll talk about the UEFA Champions League. But as our next spot of call, let me quickly yield the floor to my colleague, Austin. And I know in your intro you talked about, and I should give you credit, you were very, very optimistic. But then there's really nothing to celebrate yet. First leg, 3-3 is good. But if we're talking about 3-3 after the second leg, that is much better. But then, because of the fear of the North Africans, I guess a lot of us are very happy that whatever the case is, that we got 3-3 against North African teams in those matches.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much to celebrate. Current African champions, RS Bekene, were stunned by a team that we don't always talk about in the Nigeria Professional Football League. It's not Aimba. It wasn't Plateau United. It wasn't Rivers United. It wasn't Rangers. It was Kwara United that came back from a goal down to win 3-1. The game was not played at the Ilorin Township Stadium. It was at the Mobolaji Johnson Arena in Lagos. So it means they are still learning that stuff. And they showed that sort of character, that level of professionalism. What sort of experience does Kwara United have on the continent? And they did what they did. Shout out to the technical crew, the players. look, from the moment the RS became scored that opening goal, I started saying that it's going to be difficult. And it was scored early in the first half. I said it was going to be difficult for Kwara United. First half ended 1-0, and then they started that comeback. And what a way to do it. They shattered these North Africans in every way you can think about it. They dominated that second half. From the blast of the whistle, they started looking for those goals, and those goals came. Shout out to all of them. Jide Fatuku, I thought, did everything he could do in that match. Ahmed Taufik was also on fire, and then Daniel Barnabas and Gordon, the substitutes, just came in, and then they worked according to the plan of whatever the coaches told them, and they did everything that they had to do. 3-1. And they can believe. This is the sort of result that you take back, and you believe, and you tell yourself that, look, you fought so hard, you cannot just go down without a fight. So they will go away from home and try their best to still stay in the competition. But there's so much to celebrate in this win, and that's why I want us to celebrate this win, because it was Kwara United going against the best in Africa. Same thing happened in Abuja. Plateau United taking on Esperance. Esperance, big team in Africa. Plateau United conceded first. What I liked about what happened in the weekend was the way Nigerian teams were coming back. Right after Plateau United conceded, they scored, to leave it at 1-1. And then they pushed and then made it 2-1. It would have ended 3-1, 4-1. But football says it stays at 2-1. Same thing with Rivers United. That game would have ended 3-1, 4-1 in favor of Rivers United. But it stayed 2-1. Maybe to let these teams know that you still have a lot of work to do when you travel for the second leg. So shout out. This is the game between Rivers United and Wydad Casablanca. Yemi, everyone wouldn't believe that 3 North African teams will come to Nigeria and not leave with 1 win. Should right now give these Nigerian teams all their support in the second leg.
All right, before we take a look at, we've seen some of the visuals, our viewers have been able to see it. And just so you know, I was at the venue of the Kwara United RS Bekane game. So, of course, everything you said, very true. But let's take a look at the results. That's what we want to do quickly for our viewers. A very sure is going to come up on the screen shortly. Confirmation of the results so that you know what we're talking about. And Rivers United, just like Austin said, defeated Wydad 2-1. And, of course, Plateau United defeated Esperance 2-1. And Kwara United. There you have it. We started with Kwara United 3-1. That was the score at the end of the day, and the CAF Champions League. Similar results, similar situations. At some point, all 3 Nigerian club sides were goal down. And, I thought it was going to be one of those days, but it didn't happen that way. All right, so Kende, before I come to you, let me just quickly talk about my own story. We've seen the results, and so very good. But let me talk about my own story. I was at the venue of the Kwara United game, and at some point, I was looking at the guys, despite the fact that they were a goal down, and I was asking myself, if you can play this well, there's no reason you shouldn't be winning this game. And of course, our viewers probably have seen some of the clips, and as if the guys were listening, they went all out, gave it their best, and it turns out that they got 3 goals. Towards the end of the game, we had to clench our fists because the guys almost scored a goal, and it would have been difficult if it was 3-2. I guess they underrated Kwara United, because even at 2-1, those guys were smiling. They were feeling, when we get back to our base, we're going to show you guys. All right, so that's what happened at the game. Let me just quickly get your thoughts before we take reactions.
I think for me, it's not underrating. These North Africans know how to play this stage. They understand it's a double legger, especially when the second leg is at home. They understand, get a goal and limit the goals we concede. Now, they are not always scared of not losing. They are always scared of the goals not being too much.
Yeah, the margin.
And then what they do by not making the goals much is they get a goal. That puts you down as an home team. Because number 1, you already have your fears. You're playing a North African team. Number 2, now you've considered a goal. It would always put you down. So the Wydad, the Bekane, Esperance, they all understood this. And the moment they went up, they just, told themselves, this is the game plan we came for, and it's working. But, like you had said, like Austin have also said, the roaring of our teams after going one goal down. Maybe 1 seasons ago, 2 seasons ago, 3, 4 seasons ago, these games would have either ended in a draw or we would have even lost. I can remember being at the stadium, MFM playing in North African team, and then we lost Helmerek and all of that. So you can see it happen over and over again. But this time we went to go down and then we came back. Now, before this two-legger, I said it. Even if we do not qualify, especially for a team like Kwara United, hold your home. Let them hold their home. That is, I'm using local parlance. Now, if you're talking about qualification, it wasn't a case of I got a draw in your home and then I went, or I came to your home, I won in my home too. Now we've held our side. Just go and get the needful. All right. But the inspiration for any of these teams should be what Enyimba did to Al Ali some years ago when they went to their own backyard and won the Champions League right there. Okay. Keep your discipline. Yemi, if the first 15 minutes you don't let this team score, one of the things that is known for North African players, coaches, fans, is the fact that you can get under their skin if you don't let them score early.
Okay, we're pressed for time. We have to rush this through. Let's take some post-match reactions from all of the games, as many as we can. Then we come back and of course, try to wrap things up with the UEFA Champions League. We'll listen to Stanley Eguma, the Rivers United manager. Then, of course, we'll also see if we can quickly listen to the players and coach from Kwara United.
First and foremost, I will thank the players that they got the victory. But I know that it was very hard and a very difficult game. You know, we give it to the Moroccans and good side. It gave us a very good fight. You know, scoring us early in the game almost stabilized us. But commend the players for their courage, their composure, comportment, they show character, and I believe that that's what we expected. Though we have lost many scoring chances. If I converted our chances, maybe the game would have ended like 3-4-1. And that would have given us some advantages. But there's nothing taken away from the Moroccans, because as a champion of Africa, you know, we respect them and they really prove that they're champions. Again, they play the high tactical game and, you know, they almost played there for them. But I think that is not yet over.
It was a good game. The boys did not give, they didn't give up, and the sub they played according to instruction, because the team was tired down, and we made some substitution that will increase the tempo of our game. And if you see the people that came in, the all attacking midfielders and strikers, we took the risk and it paid off. Thank you very much. This is a very strong team. A very strong team, defending champion. We are going to go all out to see that we get a positive result in the second game. Thank you very much.
All right, that was very, Aziz Aldu there, of course, very elated that his team won. All right, we're pressed for time. We're going to be leaving very soon, but not before we'll listen to Austin give us his take on all of it. Austin, we have suddenly decided that, look, let's forget about UEFA Champions League. Let's talk about what's very, very good weekend for Nigeria. But do you think after October 16, the weekend of October 14 to 16, we're still going to have at least 2 of these teams?
Most likely. Believe, you know, just need to believe. That was what I tweeted before the game started. I said best wishes to Kwara United, Rivers United, and Plateau United, and I said believe. They just need to believe. If they had believed in themselves more, maybe they would have gone on to score more goals. Maybe don't even concede. If you see the body language of Coach Aziz Aldu, you could tell that he's oozing confidence. He's business oriented. They won 3-1, but he's like he's looking forward to the next game, you know, because he wants to keep the momentum going. So yes, it's very possible. It's football where anything can happen, you know. So as far as your Morocco couldn't beat Remo Stars in Rabat, what are we talking about? Remo Stars, they couldn't beat Remo Stars. Just believe, you know, if Rivers United are playing the way they are playing, why can't they go to Wydad Casablanca and pick a point? Very possible. They played good football on the day. They didn't just get more goals. And right after it was they equalized, they kept pushing. till they got that winner through the Ghanaian player. So, yeah, look, they just need to believe. And I strongly believe that if 2 can advance, 3 can actually advance.
That's a lot of confidence from you, Austin, and I'm hoping it turns out that way. Quickly, Kenny, this is going to be your parting shot in a few seconds. Do you think that we are able to get 3 out of 3?
I think it's very possible. Like
people have been saying the team with the best chance is Kwara United. I don't know if you agree.
Exactly. 3-1 would tell a lot of stories. Then there was something they did right, coming from behind to now score 3. The North African teams, we know how well they are good in being compact with their games, especially after going 1 goal up. So they stand a very good chance. But one of our reliable teams is Rivers United. And for Plateau United, the working one, I'm trying to remember the name of the coach now. He's quietly working.
Fidelis
Ilechukwu.
Austin just helped you out.
Yes, the working one, the producer, whatever name. He's quietly working, and they are getting this result gradually. Trust me, drop your last sweat, believe, and do the needful. I think we can have all 3.
Okay, all right. That's. I'll leave it there. Austin, we gotta go. I don't need to say anything. I keep my opinion to myself, but we gotta go.
But I know where your heart is. Yeah, that's what's important. So that's it. That's the show in London. I'm Austin Okonakwan, and everything you do, remember, keep talking sports. Bye for now.
All right, Kayode Idris, I want to say a big thank you to you. Hopefully we'll do this again some other time.
We will definitely. It's good to be here.
All right, that's the show today. We do hope that you've enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. We'll do this again tomorrow. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye.